So hey guys, today we're going to be talking about just in general decks that counter Tenpai, but before we get into that, I want to open some card packs just because, yes. So we'll pick up this Halloween accessory bundle. Yep. It'll be really depressing if you don't get an ultra from this, because there is no pity on this, so here's to hoping we get something. Flame Bufferlow. Wiki Meru Overload. The Buffalo, if it's not in the structure, it might be useful, I guess. Madame Bear. Uh, okay. I can't say I feel a lot about a lot of interest in SRs. Crafting SRs is not that bad, so whatever. Crafting URs is where the pain truly lies. Ooh. Shiny Kagero. Now, if only ninjas were playable. Alright. We keep her going. Oh, I already have that guy. Alright. And Jumbo Drill. Yeah, I don't think I'll ever be summoning that. Alright. Looks like we're going to be in major pain. Yugioh the Ice Mayakashi. Sure, whatever. Looks like we're not getting an ultra. Ahahaha. Pain. Overtext Quotless. I mean, the card has a usage, I believe. If it's the card I think it is, at least. Go sister. Well, that sucks. Alright. Got not much of anything here. Well, I still have this to open, so surely we will get an ultra from here. Oh god, look away. That's 20 in a row with nothing, huh? Oh, it's really 20 in a row with nothing. What interesting SRs could I possibly get? Ally of Justice. Let's see. Give me Unchained Soul of Rage. Changshi, completely useless. Gale. At least it's kinda shiny. Alright. Anything else? Nope. How did I get 2 structure SRs? That's just rigged. Unbelievably so. Alright. This means nothing? It really meant nothing. Snowdust Giant. What is this? Once we return, you detach 1 XYZ material from this card, reveal any number of water monsters from your hand, and place them as ice counters on face-up monsters on the field. Non-water monsters on the field lose 200 attack for each ice counter on the field. Okay. Dark Ruler no more. We take those. Balmonica, Disharmonia, Vernaself, and Full Bloom. Okay. Alright. Absolutely nothing again. Not even foil. Gotta love the debates. When my pulls were this bad, how can you debate me? Chronomaly, Crystal Skull, Dino Wrestler, Kappa Terra. And that also finishes my playset of Ghost Spell. Great. epic. So yeah, those pulls were not that great, but you guys know what is great. Well, the decks I have in mind with their matchups against specifically Tenpai. So yeah, we'll just go ahead and go here, here, then yeah, we can scrap this deck. Honestly, it's not that important, so we'll do this real quick. This is probably the last deck I tested in a solo gate, so there's that. But alright. So the first deck I think is pretty great, well, pretty good against Tenpai is Magispector. So Magispector has a lot of nice qualities to it. One of them being that it is ridiculously easy for you to use Majesty Pegasus to search out a secret village. So yeah, that's pretty strong. And also, you're super hand trap resistant because all of your Magispectors, all of your Magispector main deck monsters specifically have this effect. While this card is in your monster zone, your opponent cannot target it with card effects. Also, it cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. So, not destructible by Ghost Ogre, not destructible by Gamma. You can't target this with Imperm or Veiler. And the only things that you can target with Imperm or Veiler are Majesty Pegasus, the Draco Slayer, Magispector Orthrus Nue. So yeah, those are the only things you can target, but we have Magispector Wind here, which is also searchable. When you activate this card, you can also tribute one Wind Spellcaster monster, which we will just do. And then we are able to special summon a Magispector monster from the hand or graveyard, but if we did tribute a monster at activation, we can special summon a Magispector monster from our deck instead, and this is any Magispector monster. And worth mentioning, this card always counts as a Magispector. This card is always treated as a Magispector card here. So that includes from in deck, I believe, but it doesn't really matter because the effect to search the field spell only triggers if we are either pendulum summoned or summoned by a Draco Slayer card. But I mean, both conditions are super easy to meet here. And you have 6 1-card combos here, and then you have a billion different 2-card combos that can essentially get you places. So the biggest 2 cards that we really have to worry about, I guess 3, I think are like Dimension Shifter, Troll and Lockbird, and then Ash Blossom Joe Spring. Aside from those 3, nothing will be super insanely bad. If our opponent were to have a Maxi, I mean, at worst, we can like have just usually Kieran as interaction. What, like, just that could happen, and then not much else. But it sure is a guy, I suppose. Yeah, Maxi, we're not doing so hot against Maxi with this deck, but yeah. Still, in general, you're resistant to a lot of hand traps. And you do have essentially a Solemn Strike with Magispector Tempest, which is pretty nice, being able to negate a summon here. And it's just any summon, right? Yeah, well, any special summon. And then we have, if a monster effect is activated, we can destroy that card and negate the activation as well. So negate effect, destroy. And yeah, pretty good in general. So real quick to go over the lines. If we start with Yatta, we essentially just go Yatta to grab Wind. Wind tributes the Yatta to special summon Bunbuku, which then adds us Porcupine. And then Porcupine can special summon itself, and then we make Nue, and then we resolve Nue effect to a Pendulum Summon, do our searches, and then we can make Magispector Draco Ryu, and pass turn. To break it down a little further, if we use Yatta or Porcupine to make Nue, their scales will be correct here to Pendulum Summon our Magispector monsters always, and then we have Bunbuku plus Porcupine, which also works. So there's that. And with the effect of Nue, we can put the Majesty Pegasus into our extra deck and one other Magispector card, so we insert essentially 2 cards off of the Nue. This will allow us to grab the Secret Village plus like one other interaction, and then Kirin also sets up some further interactions with like Kirin. So being a 1-card combo, able to search Secret Village, pretty disgusting. But for 2-card combo, it gets like a lot better if we have just one other Magispector card. So if we have just any Magispector, so we'll just assume we have Kirin. Kirin is probably the worst Magispector in hand, but even Kirin works, right? So if we open Bunbuku plus Kirin or Yata plus Kirin, so it's just one of our 1-card starters plus any Magispector card. Well, we specifically want like a monster here. If we were to then go normal summon Yata, it goes into Bunbuku. Bunbuku then grabs us instead of Porcupine. We're going to grab ourselves a copy of Majesty Pegasus, the Draco Slayer. And then Majesty Pegasus has this lovely pendulum effect where we can, if we control a Draco Slayer or Magispector card in our other Pendulum Zone, you can add one Draco Slayer Pendulum Monster with a different original name than that card from our deck to the hand, then we can destroy one card in our Pendulum Zone. So in this case, it will be the Magispector Unicorn Kirin, and this will go to our extra deck face up. And then this will grab us. In this case, we'll be using Dynamite Power Load, the Draco Slayer. So with Dynamite Power Load here, what we're going to do with this is we are going to use the Pendulum effect, target a Draco Slayer or Dynamis card in your other Pendulum Zone, special summon it. So now, noticeably, we'll have Yata or Bunbuku. Well, actually, we'll always be Bunbuku in this case, right? Yeah. So we will have Bunbuku plus the Majesty Pegasus, and that will set up our Nue, which requires 2 Pendulum monsters, including a Magispector monster. And then with the Majesty Pegasus as well, we're going to be able to use the effect here to search for a Secret Village, and then go into Nue. So that is pretty strong, you know. But alright, let's keep going through the line. So we add Village, discard whatever card, and then we go into Magispector Orthrus Nue. And then we can go Nue, and then add 2 cards back. So keep in mind this will still be scaled, so we can add back the Kirin, and also Majesty Pegasus will be in the extra deck alongside Bunbuku and Yata, or Bunbuku or Yata, I guess. It doesn't really matter. But alright. Then we can grab back whatever Magispector we popped earlier with the Majesty Pegasus. And then we can Pendulum Summon it as well if it's possible, but I mean, with Kirin, it's not really possible. So if we open like an Ogama, we don't have to worry about that. We can Pen Summon this from hand, and then still Pen Summon 2 guys from our extra deck face up. So we can still do that, get all of our searches done, and we're still fine. So for example, here if we had Ogama instead of Kirin, we can add back Ogama and then put to our extra deck face up. We can do Porcupine plus UB, and that would be alright. But yeah, just in general, this deck is surprisingly hand trap efficient and a lot more consistent after they have gotten their support. So yeah, this can just obliterate Tenpai if it goes first, because like the majority of their deck and all of their good cards are all spells, so they just have Imperm left. And then the Tenpai engine without spells, which is essentially going to just be garbage, because you're not beating a Solemn Judgment. Yeah. There shouldn't be any way to add Genroku now, so let's just assume, well, let's assume we have a Chundra or a what's his face, Genroku. We just can Solemn here, and also we have the effect to return a card with the Kirin still. So yeah, I think there is a 0% chance you can deal with this. With the Tenpai engine, I don't think any combination of the monsters will do you any good. So great. So if you try to Pydra, it doesn't matter because whatever you add off Pydra is not activatable because Secret Village. And then all of our back row is not removable because Secret Village. And if we want to be a little bit more hand trap resistant, I guess it was worth mentioning. We can Terror Top. This doesn't play a grand role, I guess, but we can Terror Top to then add the Taka Tomborg, and this allows us to make Totem Bird or Bamboozling Gossip Shadow. So yeah, pretty good options here. And then, well, we're moving on to the next deck. So, Magispector beats essentially, well, the key cards that we care about that are quote unquote the scary Tenpai cards. Well, we have like Super Poly, I guess, not activatable. Epic. And then we have like Raigeki, Duster, and Lightning Storm backer removal in general. All of that not activatable. Forbidden Droplet being like pretty much the strongest card that Tenpai plays. I honestly feel like the Tenpai cards are much weaker than the non-engine they play. But yeah, most of that gets shut down here. And the hand traps that you play, the only one that's super alarming to us as like a Magispector player, Ash Blossom Joyous Ring. But I mean, if we open Terror Top or Called By, that can take care of that. Even if our opponent gets an extra draw, like the probability of them drawing an actually useful card, very low. So not even that big of a deal. But all right, moving along. Oh right, but one last thing about Magispector. These guys are all Wen, so they can miss timing. So if we want to use Magispector Wind to dodge targeting effects with our Niue, whatever we summon will indeed miss timing. Yeah, kind of forgot to mention that, I suppose, but it is what it is, I suppose. All right. Continuing on. The next deck we have here, Mech Knight. Yeah. So Mech Knight against Tenpai, you have a good few advantages. So first off, you're actually able to play Mech Knight and able to do so as either a going first or going second deck. So both situations and both outcomes can be good for you situationally, but your going first is going to be a little bit worse if your Tenpai opponent opens like a bunch of hand traps, because you do need Girsu to resolve in order to play first. But yeah, if you're going second against Tenpai, it'll be a breeze, right? Yeah, I don't see this being an issue whatsoever. So yeah, we have our Mech Knights, which are, you know, going second. Well, this is in general a going second deck, but in terms of like the going first end board, this counters the crap out of Tenpai. So noticeably, Tenpai cannot really utilize Forbidden Droplet well against this deck. So how does this deck negate? Well, none of our monsters actually will be doing any negating. It is going to be our back row, and our back row can't easily be shut down by anything aside from Red Reboot specifically. And that is because our opponents will not be able to wipe us out with back row removal, and we can avoid that by simply going like chain Whispers, and then we chain World Legacy's Memory, or we can chain Secret with Whispers to summon our copy of Indigo Eclipse in order to negate like a back row. And then the thing about Mech Knights is that we don't give a crap, we don't give a damn about a lot of the Tenpai cards. So noticeably, the field spell we can just ignore. It doesn't do anything. And Chundra, we can negate Chundra's effects as well. We can also negate Genroku's effect. If it tries to jump off the field to special summon a Tenpai from the deck, we can also negate that as well with our World Legacy secret. So the field spell says any fire dragon monster on the field is unaffected by the activated effects of our opponents. World Legacy's secret, World Legacy's whispers, all of these guys, they are continuous effects. And also, this negates any opponent's monster effect that activates in the same column as a Mekk-Knight monster we control. It does not negate the monster, it negates the effect. So even if we remove the monster from the field, the effect is still activated on the field at the same location. So we're able to negate that way. So even if you were to Forbidden Droplet to remove a guy to try to resolve the effect, it's not going to happen. So yeah, pretty solid here. And if we get to the most disgusting game state possible, where we control key, secrets, whispers, and we have a Mekk-Knight in every single column, our opponent is now under essentially Imperial Order, skill drain, and also Imperial Order, I think. Imperial Order, Imperial Wall, skill drain. So whatever. You can't activate monster effects, spell effects, or trap effects if you remove those cards from the field via cost. That still doesn't work. So yeah, pretty brutal, and you can't beat over any of our guys, so that's also pretty miserable. And then we also have, just in general, Mekk-Knight of the Morningstar. So if we combine this with just secrets, we're already still in advantage because we have this effect. If your Mekk-Knight monster battles a monster in a different column than it, your monster cannot be destroyed by that battle. Also, you take no battle damage from that battle. So cannot be destroyed by battle and take no battle damage. All of our Mekk-Knights get that card, so just summon them. Just summon your Tenpai cards in our column, surely, right? But then World Legacy Secret says, negate any opponent's monster effect that activates in the same column as a Mekk-Knight monster you control. So, if you summon in the same column, then you don't get to activate your effects. Yeah. That's not really that great for you, so Mekk-Knights in general are going to be a bit favored here. And we'll go over, I guess, just the basic Girsu combo. So Girsu, 1-card combo. Normal summon Girsu effect. Girsu will send a guy. So in this case, if we genuinely only have Girsu, I think the best option is to send World Armor, and then we special summon the 2 tokens. So then we do that, and we will link off now for Lib. And then Lib is going to be able to set a World Legacy spell trap from our deck to the field. And the card we're choosing is Succession. So we're going to activate Succession to then special summon World Armor. And also zone play does matter, so the token should be summoned on our opponent's field and our field, right? So the one on our opponent's field should be just above an EMZ, and we, in this case, want to put Lib in the same column as that token. So that's important. But all right, we'll activate Succession to summon back World Armor. World Armor, when special summoned, allows us to add any World Legacy card from our decks to the hand. So the reason we're using the World Armor to place it instead of Lib is because this sets the card, so we wouldn't be able to activate any quick play cards. So we want to do specifically World Legacy's Memory. And then with Memory, we're going to grab the Nightfall. Nightfall is going to banish itself to then grab ourselves a copy of the blue. And then blue is going to be special summoning itself, to the column right below the Lib. So we can use the blue sky effect now to do a search. So the card we're searching for is going to be Indigo Eclipse. And then we will link off our Mekk-Knight of the Morningstar, discarding the Indigo Eclipse, and then we're going to grab a World Legacy Secret. And then we will set the secret, and then we will pass back. So this doesn't seem like much, but as a 1-card combo here, we can activate World Legacy Secret to special summon the Indigo Eclipse, and this is essentially just 2 monster negates, which is not bad for just the 1-card combo. I mean, there are worse. Like Vanquish Soul, normal summon Rosin is not this good, so it's better than some things, but not better than, let's say, normal summon D-Lotus into like 7 interaction. But you know, we take what we can get. And the next turn, Purple Nightfall will also be coming back. But just in general, one thing that's really strong about this is against a Link deck, if we were to summon the Indigo Eclipse below the other EMZ, everything in that EMZ will be negated because we're taking up one EMZ with the Morning Star, and then the other EMZ will be covered by like Indigo Eclipse, or just any Mech Knight in general. So that's pretty neat. And also worth mentioning is this Mech Knight of the Morning Star can be pretty annoying to out if our opponent doesn't have a way to remove the token we gave them, because we don't necessarily have to remove that token. And then if that token still persists, right, then the Morning Star essentially has some battle protection on it and becomes a bit annoying to out, so our opponent might not be able to game us. So pretty useful in that regard as well. But yeah, if we go into 2-card, it gets a lot better. But you know, it is what it is. And then we have one more deck, I believe. Actually, if I'm feeling it, we'll do 2. So Paleo. Well, we don't have to break down like fully how Paleo plays, because that would take a lot longer than the other 2 decks. But with Paleo specifically, you have 2 cards that you can really abuse against Tenpai. So we have Rise to Full Height. So you can't respond to this or do anything about this if you are playing Tenpai. You just suffer against Rise to Full Height. So Rise to Full Height makes it so that essentially with the graveyard effect, you can only attack 1 monster for the rest of this turn. So if you remove that monster, you just can't attack, period. That's what Rise to Full Height essentially does. And you also have Transaction Rollback. So what's so special about Transaction Rollback and Rise to Full Height? Well, they're in the graveyard, so removal doesn't really work. Red Reboot doesn't work either, because this specifically prevents, right here, we'll read the whole effect. When your opponent activates a trap card, negate activation, and if you set that card face down, then they can set 1 other trap directly from their deck for the rest of this turn. After this card resolves, your opponent cannot activate trap cards. And if you do set that card face down, you can't set that card face down because it's in the graveyard. And then negate the activation, and it's specifically when you activate a trap card, not a trap effect, which those I believe are counted as trap effects. And for the, well, actually, yeah, I think it's mostly because you have to set the card face down, right? And then for the rest of this turn, after this card resolves, your opponent cannot activate trap cards. Can we activate trap effects? Apparently, yes. We cannot activate trap cards, but we can activate trap effects, which is apparently different. I think. So, something like that, right? So, yeah, Red Reboot literally doesn't work against Rollback or Rise to Full Height. That includes Duster, Forbidden Droplet, all of your Tenpai engine. None of them interact with this. So, yeah. You can kind of start to see why you'll just have a good amount of advantage here. And yeah, you're in for a pretty bad time, I guess, if you're playing Tenpai against Paleo. The only way you do have a shot at winning, I think, is if you have like Red Reboot, because honestly, back row removal isn't enough to beat this deck. Not anymore with Rollback. So yeah, not having a good time. So a lot of your hand traps don't work. A lot of your spells are not going to do you that much. Well, it's not going to help you out that much. Your imperms aren't going to help out that much either. It's just pain and suffering, really. Also worth mentioning is Paleos are unaffected by monster effects, so yeah, those suckers are really hard to out, especially when we throw in like rollback, Waboku, actual Waboku, rise to full height, graveyard effect. Yeah, it becomes like pretty ridiculous. And then I guess for the final deck, yeah. Yo, what about some Crooked Cook Exodia? So if you guys don't know, I'll explain Crooked Cook Exodia to you guys real quick. So, let's grab all the Exodia pieces, I guess. Might as well while we're here. So Crooked Cook Exodia is pretty basic idea. So Crooked Cook has this effect here. While you control no other cards on the field, this card is unaffected by other cards' effects. So this means this card is an unaffected monster, but it's only a 2.3k guy in terms of its attack, and its defense is 200. So clearly it wouldn't be that problematic to out this, right? Wrong. So if we make this with specifically one of these combinations, I guess we can use Astral Kribo as one of the materials, or we can use Right Hand Shark as a material. Then this gives, respectively, so Astral Kribo gives a number XYZ monster that was summoned using this card on the field as material. This effect cannot be destroyed by battle or your opponent's card effects. And then we have Right Hand Shark. This card cannot be destroyed by battle. So if we have a 200 guy in defense, can our opponent out this if it's unaffected by any card effects? The short answer is probably not. So with Tenpai, what exactly do you have to out Crooked Cook? Well, no one plays Underworld Goddess. All right then. So can you pierce? If you can pierce, you can do battle damage to us that way. Can you pierce? No. All right. Well, what else can we do? Can we well, can we do anything else? Pierce? Attack direct? No. None of that. All right. Do we run kaijus or anything? Oh no, you don't. Okay. Can you hand trap this that easily? I mean, if I special summon Shatana, normal summon Right Hand Shark, make Crooked Cook. That's actually just an FTK against Tenpai. Okay. Yeah, that's not gonna happen, is it? And then this is just not destructible by battle, and I will just pass every turn, discarding whatever useless cards out of my hand until I have Exodia, and then I win. Crooked Cook Exodia. You can't out this at all, so we just wait like until I draw Exodia now. And yeah, that's the strategy in a nutshell. And yeah, not really beatable, huh? So yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. And I'll well, I guess worth mentioning is yeah, this strategy is probably like the worst out of all the strategies I've showcased against decks that aren't Tenpai. So maybe this, if you have the cards, this might be fun to try out once or twice. But yeah, for the most part, I would recommend the other three archetypes a lot more because they're more competitively viable. Paleo is the one I can recommend the least out of the other three, though, because the matches are really time consuming because you're just going to mostly be winning by outgrinding your opponent. And yeah, it takes a while. So actually, in terms of like duels, I can't tell you which one is going to take longer between like Crooked Cook or Paleo. Paleo might actually take longer. Would not be surprised. But yeah, Magispector and Mech Knight, if you haven't played them already, you can give them a try, and they're relatively cheap decks to make compared to like a lot of other decks in Master Duel. So would recommend, and they're pretty viable right now. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys today, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.